Well, ladies and gentlemen, today is the day that you've all been waiting for, and what I mean by that is we're finally going to start ripping apart the black truck so we can get the red truck put together, because all the work we've done on the frame is painted, it's been primered, the interior is just about ripped out of that truck, and it's now time to start getting the engine pulled and the axles pulled from the black truck, so we're going to get into doing that today. So, sit back, grab a seat, grab a drink, whatever you want to do, and let's get into today's video. Dude, even the lawnmower can't pull it! Alright guys, so first thing is first, I think I want to get the engine ripped out of this thing first, because I think it's going to be a little bit easier to pull the engine with the axle still under the truck. That way I'm not trying to like fight balancing the truck while I'm trying to pull the engine out. So I guess the first thing that I'm probably going to have to do is drain the coolant, and then from there we're going to get the radiator pulled, as well as all of this stuff in the front. We got this front cross member, we got to get the fenders off, we got to get the batteries out, and I think once we get the radiator and stuff out, this should be a pretty straightforward process. I'm pretty sure there's only 2 motor mounts down at the bottom. Well, I know that there's only 2 motor mounts, so there's only like 2 bolts down there, and then I think that there's like 6 or 8 bell housing bolts, and then this thing should, in theory, pull right out of there, hopefully. So at the old mechanic shop that I used to work at, we did do a 6.7 Cummins one time, and that honestly went together no problem. So I'm really hoping that the 24 valve is simpler than that. It's gonna hopefully have less to do with it. It's not gonna have any DPF stuff. So hopefully this is, like I said, a straightforward process, and we're not gonna be fighting it all day.
Hey, I doubt it.
Okay.
I'm hoping to have the engine out of this truck today, and then hopefully I can get the axles out of the truck tomorrow or the next day, and then next weekend, hopefully I can start getting it under the other truck, and then this one's gonna get cut up and scrapped because I don't want it. I don't want the frame. The frame's junk, and the cab's junk, and the bed's pretty well junk, and transmission's junk, and yeah, the truck's just junk. I don't really know what else to tell you guys. So I'm gonna get you set up, we're gonna get some tools, and we're gonna start ripping into this thing. Alright guys, so I do want to start by saying that there are a couple issues that I foresee with this already. So one being the fact that the engine in this, I'm pretty sure, needs a head gasket, and it is also as well a 53 block, so that's kind of 2 cons already. But the reason that I say it needs a head gasket is because, for one, this truck overheats sometimes. I know the radiator's plugged up for one because of all the oil that this pile of shit leaks, and I also think that it needs a head gasket because there is in fact head gasket sealer in the radiator, and I actually have the cap right here, and I don't know if you can see that or not, but if I hold this in the sun, you can see all the gold coppery sparkles that you don't want to see whenever you pull your radiator cap off. So definitely gonna be trying to do head studs and a head gasket on that. And yeah, so like I said, I'm gonna grab some tools. We're gonna get this radiator out, coolant drained, oil drained, and then we're gonna go from there. All right, so I did go ahead and get this top radiator bracket off, and I just wanted to show you guys why I say the radiator's plugged up. So you can clearly see that this thing is absolutely plugged full of oil, which I think is why we're overheating, because I don't think air is actually flowing through it. But it does make a perfect pattern where the fan is at, and I think that it's because the fan was just, I don't even know how it worked. I think that it just threw the oil through it somehow. I don't know, but there's oil under the hood, there's oil all over the alternator and everything else. So definitely gonna have some stuff to look into whenever the time comes for that. So this engine is gonna be getting put onto probably a tire, because I don't have the money for an engine stand that will support the weight of this thing right now. So odds are it's going to be going on a tire, and then we're going to be pulling the head off, we're going to be pulling all the auxiliary components off, and we're going to be figuring out why this thing is leaking oil so dang bad, because I can't have that. But the one thing that confuses me about it all the time is that there's no oil underneath the dang truck. Where does it come from? Where does it go? Where does it come from? Oil, where'd you go? I don't know. Doesn't ever burn it, doesn't ever leak it, but it's gone. So we're gonna have to figure that out. But I'm gonna get you guys put back on the tripod. We're gonna get the intercooler out, we're gonna get the transmission cooler out, we're gonna get the power steering cooler out, and then hopefully we'll get the radiator out, and then it should be a pretty straightforward process from that point forwards. So back on the tripod you go. So I do want to correct myself real quick. I don't know why I thought that this was a power steering cooler, but I'm pretty sure that this is the transmission cooler and that this one is actually the condenser for the air conditioning, which this truck never had air conditioning. I mean, it does, but it didn't work, so I'm probably just going to delete it because I'm not going to use the AC anyways. So odds are, if I can find some kind of AC delete kit, probably going to be doing that for it as well, just because weight reduction. I don't know. So unfortunately, all the Torx bolts for the air conditioning lines have decided that they were going to round themselves out. So I'm just gonna bend them. I don't care at this point. I'm not putting it back on anyways. I kind of wanted to keep the AC lines intact so that I could resell them, but things don't always work the way you want them to. So time to break them. We're gonna try to get the bumper off now, because it needs to come off now. Alright guys, the 4th gen bumper has been removed off of the truck, and now we have perfect access to everything else, including the intercooler and the radiator and the transmission cooler and the air conditioner condenser. The AC condenser. So, I guess the next step's going to be getting all the rest of this stuff out of here, and then getting the intercooler off, and then the radiator out, and then probably the fenders off, and I'm going to take this, I don't even know what you call that, but I'm going to take that off too. So, let's get to it. Don't tell me you got to pull the dang radiator out first. Well, this is news to me, but I think you got to pull the radiator out before you can take the intercooler off. That's freaking weird. So I guess on that note, we're gonna start draining coolant. Can anyone tell me if this is a good thing? Ah, I'm missing the bucket. Yeah, I mean, I usually like to fill my intercooler up with coolant just because it helps keep the intake temps down. Just a little tip, you know? So next time you rebuild your truck or car or whatever, make sure you fill them freaking intercooler hoses with a bunch of coolant. It's gonna help keep them IATs down, boy. Okie doke. Well, I think the radiator is finally ready to come out. I hope so, because I don't want any more coolant all over me. So let's see if we can pull it out. Oh, look at that. Radiator's out. Frick yeah. Oh yeah. Now it's all coming together. Apparently it was just all bound up. Seems like we're ready to get the engine out of this thing now. So I gotta go get the engine hoist unburied because it's buried in the corner and I just put all of the parts off this thing in front of it. I don't know why I did that, but yeah, I'm not excited. I don't wanna, but I gotta. So, while I work up the motivation to pull this engine out and get the engine hoist out, you guys just hang out and relax, and I'll be back in like 5 seconds. All right, well, I'm gonna be honest, this sucks. I've pulled a lot of engines in my day, and for some reason this thing is just fighting me non-stop. Everything I do seems to be going in the opposite direction. However, that's not gonna stop me from getting this engine out of this thing. As you can see, I've been at it all morning, and it's still not out yet. And I even did it yesterday. That's whenever I got everything ripped off the front of the truck. Got the fenders off, radiator out, everything else out. Hopefully all the wires are unhooked, fuel lines are unhooked, all the bell housing bolts are out, starter's out. Everything should be good, but I'm sure that whenever I go to pull this thing, it's still gonna give me more problems. So, we'll see how that goes. I gotta get this side engine mount bolt loose, and then hopefully it should come out. We'll see. I also got an engine stand, so I can put it on the stand instead of a tire. And yeah, so let's get into that. All right, the time has finally come to where I can try to get this engine to come out. I definitely think we're gonna have other stuff that's not unhooked, like the throttle cable here, for example. I don't know if it just pops off of there or what. I think it just pops off. I don't know. Probably gonna break it. We'll see. Nope, I was right. It just pops off. Look at that. It's almost like I know things sometimes. I don't. If my little cheap ass Harbor Freight engine hoist can even pick this damn engine up. And if this chain survives that, because that's kind of another factor of the matter. I don't know if this chain's up for the task, but we're gonna find out. Okay, so I just moved the hoist up to 1.5 ton instead of 2 ton because I don't know if you guys could see, but I was smashing my hand up against the front of the frame. So we're gonna try this again, see what happens. You have a little bit of movement. He's still just picking the cab up, dude. Because it's not picking the front of the engine up right. So I think I got to move the chain again. Because I mean, I can see that it's split off the transmission here, but it's not doing what I want it to do. So I'm probably gonna have to set it back down and then move probably a couple more links forwards, and then I guess we'll try it again because I got to get that front up more. I can see the gap in the back is kind of like shaped like a V, like this, you know. So it's like pulling the back more than the front. I need to pull the front back up so I can like make the V kind of do this, kind of like that, you know. So we'll try that real quick, see what that gets us. But on a good note, it is probably going to work. I was a little bit worried that this engine hoist wasn't going to be adequate for this, because I've only ever pulled 4 cylinders with this engine hoist, so I guess we'll see. But it should work. Should. Alright, let's try that. I don't think that's going to work. I think it's going to just maybe not. It's doing the same thing on both sides, so yeah, I'm going to have to take these out. So I'm going to get these bolts out real quick, and then whenever I get the bolts out, then the engine should come out until we figure out what else is attached to it. And then we'll have to stop again and unattach the stuff that's attached, and then it'll come out, and then I can get it on the engine stand, and then this will be done. And I can't freaking wait for this to be done because I'm over this. I'm over it. I'm over it. Well, the bolts are out, so let's get back to business. Honk honk. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't really understand how you're supposed to pull these out unless you're supposed to take the head off, but if you take the head off of it, then you don't have anywhere to grab it from. What the hell? I don't know, just keep going. Okay, I'm gonna grab a pry bar. We're gonna see. This side is above. Can you guys see the whole cab moving? It's because there's no cab mounts left on this freaking truck. I want to apologize now for the noise. My neighbor's going to cut his grass. So part of my problem is the fact that the actual like bushing on the mount is getting held up. We're going to try a couple tings. One reason the mount was getting held up is because it's bad and it ripped itself apart. We're making progress though. She is inching forward bit by bit. So the torque converter just finally came out of the transmission. I didn't unbolt it. It's still attached to the engine. I wasn't gonna unbolt it. That's why I got a bucket under there to catch all the transmission fluid that's gonna leak out. But we're making progress. No. that's not gonna move. All right, let's go down a little bit. I don't really want to go back down. I'd love to try to jack the cab up, but unfortunately it's too rusted out, but I'm still gonna try it. I think the correct way to do this is to actually probably take the front cab mounts out and jack the cab up a little bit. I can't do that because they're so rusted. I can't even get a freaking socket on the bolt. So I gotta think outside the box. Hey, look at that, we got somewhere. Holy shit. I never thought I'd see the day. It's almost out. It's almost out. But I still can't move the freaking engine stand or engine hoist. I can't move it. I don't really know how to move it. I'm just a wee little fella, and I don't got it in me to freaking move that. But it's gonna have to come out of there somehow. I just don't know how yet. We're gonna keep going up. But I still gotta clear the oil pan on the cross member, which we're almost there. I don't wanna have this thing 10 feet in the air and then try to move it, because that's not gonna work. I gotta figure out a way to get this thing to come forward some. Guys, this sucks. I'm not even gonna lie, this sucks. I think I'm gonna give you guys a different view here. Because I think part of my problem is the fact that I'm getting the chain caught up on the cab, and I think that's why it's not wanting to roll for me. Okay, so I jacked the cab up, but we do have one slight problem. I'm gonna show you. Okay, so the problem is that this truck is so freaking rotted out that I can't jack the cab up. And what I mean by that is right under here. I'm sure you can see all the holes already. I did get it off a little bit. It's up a little bit, but there's a hole in the floor now. It smashed that rail on both sides. Both freaking sides. So, we're back to thinking outside of the box because I can't get the cab no higher, and I'm a little scared, not gonna lie. Anyways, the engine is almost out. I still can't figure out how I'm gonna roll the freaking engine hoist because I can't move it. So if anyone wants to come and help, that'd be freaking sweet. But I know you guys are gonna see this after I get the engine out, so it's okay, I forgive you. But it is getting there slowly, very, very slowly. I think putting it in is gonna be a bigger pain in the ass. I'm a little worried about that one, but we will figure that out when the time comes. So, man, my hands are dirty. I'm gonna get you guys back on the tripod, and we're gonna try to finish yanking that thing out of there. Okay, I do gotta unbolt this because I didn't do that. One piece at a time, just like Johnny Cash says, right? That's why I hate buying stuff from other people, because like, I don't know what these are for. I can tell you one goes down to the starter and one goes into this wire. Oh, I see. I think I figured it out. Yeah, I figured it out. I can't believe this truck started. Can you guys see that? Who does stuff like that? That is just unacceptable. I understand maybe fixing the wire, but this was literally freaking electrical taped to this. I think that's cruise control. And then they ran the wire down to the starter. Bro. Some people need to put the tools down. I'm probably one of them, but it'll be all right. All right, maybe I can move it now. I doubt it. Dude, there's no way that I can move this engine hoist. I'm probably better off pushing the truck out from underneath of the engine. All right, let's set it down and get a better angle now that I have the oil pan over top of the cross member. Hopefully it doesn't slide. Definitely gonna slide. I was hoping the front of the engine would have just set down really nicely and landed right here, and I would have just been able to pick it back up, but no, that's not gonna work. What about if I block the back of it so it can't move? Yeah, that's not what I wanted you to do, but okay, I guess. I don't freaking trust that at all. We're gonna do it anyways. What other choice do I have? Alright, we're almost getting to where I want to be. Something sounds like it's getting ready to slide. I'm gonna try something real quick. Okay, that kind of worked. Except it didn't. I didn't really want to rip those wires out of there because I kind of was going to try to use that harness. But, I mean, we're almost... I keep saying that we're almost there, but I don't think we are. I think we got a lot more dicking around to do. There we go. Ha! I told you guys I knew what I was doing. It just takes a little bit for me to get there. As soon as I figure out how to move this engine hoist, we'll be in business. All right, guys. Well, the engine is out, so I'm gonna figure out a way to get it the rest of the way out, and once it's on the stand, I'll catch back up with you guys and probably wrap everything up. So we'll see you guys in a little bit. All right, guys, so good news. The engine's out. It's on the ground. That was a pain in the ass. I had to use the lawnmower to pull this damn thing. I wish I would have got it on video, but I did record a video with my phone, which I'm probably gonna put in somewhere around here. I am in a predicament. See, my engine hoist did in fact pull the Cummins engines out. However, I can't roll the fucking engine hoist. So now I don't know what to do. And I don't want to hook anything to it because I'm afraid it'll fall. And if it falls, I'm gonna get mad and probably shoot holes in it. Tja! Well, I figured that out. Dude, even the f***ing lawnmower can't pull it. I don't know. I honestly do not know what to do. Attempt number 2. Woo! She moved! She moved! Oh, yeah. Don't worry. I figured it out. Figured it out. Oh, yeah. We're going to get this engine on the freaking ground now. Frick yeah. I don't think you guys understand how sketchy this is. Alright. Let's set it on the ground before it falls. Something like that. But, yeah, so now I got to get the torque converter off. And Then I can get it onto the engine stand that I bought, and then from there it's gonna sit in the corner until I'm ready to work on it, because it needs a lot of stuff, like the head gasket and head studs, and I gotta clean the oil off and figure out where it's leaking from, and some more stuff, probably bigger injectors, and we'll go from there. But in the meantime, I'm gonna have to rip all the wires out of this truck and put them all into this one over here. So that's gonna be another video in itself, probably a couple videos, who knows, we'll figure it out when the time comes. But for now, thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, tips, tricks, whatever the case may be, drop them in a comment below. Let me know what you guys think. Please give the video a thumbs up if you like the video, and don't forget to subscribe for more content like this, because this thing is gonna be a bigger project than what I thought it was, I'm sure. So we're gonna have loads of more videos on that. It's definitely gonna be sweet whenever it's done, and I can't wait for you guys to see the end result. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.